off, like right there is a little off, it's fine. But it's kind of cool because you can still see Mary, which is good. You want to see something of the Christmassy like spirit, especially since this will be like part of my Christmas bow collection that I'm going to put on all my gifts for friends and family. And this one has a little bit of Mary and Bright and some gifts, and this has Bright on it. So I kind of dig that. Kind of makes me happy. Glad that I can see a little bit of that. And even though I may not have originally picked this purple to use like on my bow, I kind of dig it. I could probably put with you know, like another purple bow if I put more than one bow on there, or I could actually even stamp up some of my wrapping paper with the same stamping and wrap my gift with it. So, or even stamp after my gift is wrapped, which I kind of like to do more, and do the embossing like that. This paper that I'm using is kind of fun. It's recycled paper I got from an old job I used to have, and like it's really strange because it has like a wood texture on there, and it's a little bit textured on top, but it's just kind of like a little strange, but it's kind of cool. You can put a little bit of texture on anything, it's cool. So, like I said, we need 6 1-inch strips I'm doing for my bow. And depending on the size of your bow, you can, you know, scale up your width or scale it down. But when it gets too small, it starts to become a little bit of a hassle, but you'll figure out what you can work with. And so I got 5 strips here, and the other thing that you'll need is a little like brad. It's a paper brad, and it has the 2 little prongs on the bottom. I like to use the sturdier ones. They're more like just industrial. They're not decorative, but you can buy like little decorative ones that are colored or they have little shapes on them, which is fine. And the only problem with this is they're so flexible, and I just push through the paper with my brads. You could like pre-poke your holes if you want, but I don't like the time consumption of it, and it just takes me forever. So I like to be able just to push right through and get done. Because I have a lot of gifts to wrap, and I'd really like to be able to make bows to put on all of them. So this is my last strip that I'll need. So there. Now we got all of our strips. The length of the strip isn't really that big of a deal. You probably want to have it at least 10 inches, but it's not necessary, I don't think. You can shorten and lengthen it up as well too, but just remember to consider that it's going to change your bow shape and size. So so now I'm going to take and cut one of my strips into 2, making one end a little bit longer than the other end that I cut. I'm going to cut it right about there. And this is going to be our middle part of our bow. So I'm going to just take and overlap the bottom of our bow. And sometimes I use some stick glue to hold it together. It's not a necessity, but sometimes if I'm working smaller, it helps a lot, because like when you're trying to maneuver in this little brad, it holds it together for you. So basically you just take and you put the brad on the inside of your bow like this, and you want to poke through both the layers so that you can hold your little loop together. Now the next one, this will be the outside loop. It needs to fit inside like this, so you need to kind of just measure, and that looks like about right. And then you take and you want to put this loop inside of here, and you want to poke through like inside right there, just the same way as this, except you're putting this loop in there. So you just go ahead and put it in there, and then you can maneuver the loops around. So you kind of want to have them a little crisscrossed, so you can kind of see both of them, just like that. Nothing too fancy. Now, with these, you want to take and, so you want to hold it with one hand, and you want to take it and make a loop and tuck it under the back side like this. So it'll go to the back side like that. And you're also going to make another loop over here. And you'll want to have the loop on the same side. So if I can get this right, because I'm doing it backwards. Let's see. Okay. So you'll take the loop and you'll flip it around so that it looks like an 8. And this is the best way to do it. You'll figure it out. It's not real hard, but like I'm trying to show everybody, and it kind of. But you can also move it. You know, if you straighten it out like this, it becomes more pointy. And if you fatten it up and make it into a bigger X, like you can see the X right here, it makes it kind of closer together. And that's going to be what we want for these first couple of them. Putting them onto here because you want them to be close to your middle little section. So you poke it through the middle, making sure that these are up, and that's the start of your actual little bowl. So now you want to do the same thing. Flip it, make your little X. Your little 8, I guess, or figure 8, and then spread it out so that it's more rounded and fat, so it sticks together nice. Poke it through the middle. So now we have a really good start. Looks like a little X. It's pretty cool. You got some Merry and Bright on there, a little gift package. So now you want to start doing your other ones. So make another little figure 8 with your little X right here. And I'm going to point these out a little bit because they need to go around these. So I'm going to point them out just a little bit more than those other ones that I just did. So they look a little like this. You can also make really pointy ones that have a nice little sharp point. Make them look really professional. I kind of like the rounded little points. So keep that. So make sure all of your 3 pieces, your 3 pieces should be overlapped and like to make your little X, so then when you poke through, you poke through all your 3 pieces. So then you'll poke through like this. And if you can see, it's a little off. This one's a little more out than this one, so I'll just take that one off and just poke it through in a little bit more centered area. Maybe right there, that'll be a little better. And I'll move it around a little bit. Okay, next one. Do the figure 8. Figure 8. Make it a little bit more elongated. And do it again. Poke it through. And you'll be able to tell like where you're supposed to poke it through. Like when I first started, I couldn't really figure it out, but you'll be able to tell. There's a pattern obviously that it goes through. And so now you had your little X with this one and this one, and then now you have another little X with this one and this one. It's just going the kind of the overlapping directions. So now this is the last one. Okay. I'm going to make this one kind of stick out like as far as possible without making the corners too sharp, just because this is going to be the last one. So all the other ones are sticking out, so this has to make sure it can be seen. Stick it right in the middle. This, and there you go. Now all you have to do is on the back of your nice little paper brad is spread out the tongs. There's 2 of them right there, and you just lay them flat. I kind of push them in a little bit so they're more angled like this onto themselves instead of just straight flat, because it helps the bow kind of poof out a little bit. Now all you have to do is take either some double-sided tape or glue or some tape rolled up into a little loop and stick it onto your gift. And there you go. Alright, thank you.